I thank God for this blessed time again. Thank you for being with me here in this worship hour. We're still under lockdown, and most of our mind and heart are occupied with pressure, uncertainty, and fear as we read the news every now and then in different social medias. As we encounter this situation in our daily life, sometimes our strength may fall in the midst of trials and temptations of life, such as this time. Even our soul may lose its energy and become weak, weary, tired, and exhausted. Our hope, our trust, and our belief also may become shaken. We feel our prayer seems unanswered. We fed up of repeating the same thing again and again every day of our life, and so we feel like to give up, quit, or stop. Remember, it's easy to say, I trust in the Lord when everything is good and everything is happy and going according to our plan. That is conditional trust we put in the Lord. But on the other side, when things going wrong, worsen, darken, pain, shame, and sorrow, it's difficult for us to say, I put my trust in God. But sometimes our situation demands additional strength of our faith, our trust, and our belief in God when everything is not okay with us. Putting our trust in the Lord even in the darkest hour is called unconditional trust. Where can we obtain this unconditional trust, strength, and power? Let us read Isaiah 40:31. But those who trust in the Lord for help will find their strength renewed. They will rise on wings like eagles. They will run and not get weary. They will walk and not grow weak. Many people of Judah were exiled in Babylon under pressure, life-threatened, crushed, and without hope. The people of Judah who were exiled in Babylon were weary, tired, panicked, and feared. At this point of time, the word of God came to them through the proclamation of his prophet Isaiah, saying that they should trust in the Lord for help, because God does not get tired or weary. He has unlimited power and energy. He has unlimited wisdom and knowledge. He has unlimited love and grace. What does it mean to trust God? To trust God means we allow Him to do whatever He wants to do in our life, even everything seems going wrong. Because He is God, He knows everything that has happened, that is happening, and that will be happen. Therefore, we must trust Him enough to let Him work freely in our life, but to let Him work in His own ways, in His own terms and definition, and in His own perfect time, not in my ways, not in my term, and not in my time. To trust God is to say, I'm going to let God work freely in my situations. I'm not going to say no to God. I'm not going to argue with God. I'm not going to complain anything to God, because He knows the best, and I'm not afraid of the outcome. To trust is to know Him. We cannot trust someone who is stranger to us. Likewise, without knowing God well, we cannot truly trust Him, who He really is, what He can do for us. To know Him is to communicate. If we trust God and know Him, we must also have a serious conversation with Him. But sadly, many a times, we spend very little of our time with God. Sometimes we just simply put our trust on God and we wait miracles to just happen and control our situations without doing anything what God wants us to do or what God told us to do while trusting. But sometimes it may lead to discouragement, disbelief, frustration, and failures. To trust Him more and to know Him better, we must communicate with God through meditation of His holy word and in prayer. By doing this, we can build our intimate relationship with God stronger, deeper, and more closer. When we make a close relationship with Him, we can fully trust Him without any doubt or fear. Why should we trust God? We trust God because He is worthy to trust. Unlike man, He never lies and never fails to fulfill His promises. Numbers 23:19 says, God is not like man who lie. He is not a human who changes his mind. Whatever He promises, He does. He speaks and it is done. We trust God because His plan is perfect. His time is perfect. His plan is holy and righteous and works all things together for good to those who put their trust in Him. Put our complete trust on God, knowing Him immediately, intimately, and to which He had promises His blessings to renew our strength, and so that we will soar on wings like eagles. We will run and not grow weary. We will walk and not be faint. Trusting in the Lord strengthens our faith. Trusting in the Lord makes us humble and more dependent on God. Trusting in the Lord enables us to stand against spiritual foes. Trusting in the Lord gives victory over trials and hardship of life. Trusting in the Lord secured us. Where is our trust? Should we trust in ourselves or in others who are weak, unpredictable, unreliable, have limited wisdom, limited strength, and limited resources? Or do we trust in the all-powerful, all-wisdom, all-knowing, gracious, merciful, and loving God who has always best intention to those who trust Him? When we find ourselves drained spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally, and struggling with different problems and become weary and tired, put our trust, our unconditional trust in the Lord for help. And I can tell you, friends, no matter what we are going through, God will go through with us. Every trials, every crisis, every problems, every situations, God will be with us. He will go through with us, and we will never be alone. Remember these great promises of God to those who trust in Him unconditionally in Isaiah 43 verse 2. When you go through deep waters, I will be with you. When you go through rivers of difficulty, you will not drown. When you walk through the fire of oppression, you will not be burned up. The flames will not consume you. We have to trust Him unconditionally because He knows the best. Remember, the hard time that we are going through now is not the end. We don't know what will come next. Even the worst time may come next. But we do trust the one who knows yesterday, today, and even tomorrow. We trust God that He is in control. We trust God that He is mightier and bigger than every problems. Let us put our conditional and unconditional trust in the Lord and Him alone. Keep talking to Him and listen to Him in meditation of His holy word and in deep prayer. Keep ourselves close and intimate relationship with Him in every situations, because when all things fails, crumbles and shatters, He will be still there to those who trust Him and Him alone.